To me, a good answer to that is in my organization, the Arlington Partnerships for Affordable Housing's acquisition of the 111-unit Buchanan Gardens apartments. It's an existing, older garden apartment complex built in 1949 to deal with the influx of workers basically coming to Arlington after World War II. As the community changed, that part of Arlington was left behind. There'd been very little new construction on that corridor, and these apartments, 111 units of which 80% were one bedroom, had become what we sometimes refer to as market affordable housing. And it was 2009, it was the recession, and the owner entertained an offer to sell. It had the original boilers, had no air conditioning. You couldn't plug in a hairdryer in the apartments, had the original roof. There was an average of 4 people living in each of these apartments. And by the way, they were an average of 350 square feet. So these were small one-bedroom apartments, one-bedroom, one-bath apartments. And some of them, we had one apartment that had as many as 8 people living in them. They couldn't afford anything else in Arlington. Now, the easiest thing to have done is say, you're all overcrowded. Half of you have to get out of here. Oh, and by the way, the other half that are left, you can't afford tax credit rents, so you have to leave too. We completely transformed that property. We converted it so the majority of units are 2- and 3-bedroom. We did something called Bumpouts. Took a lot of work. It was very complicated. These buildings were scattered on a 3-acre site, so we had to site them. 10% of the units were accessible to people with disabilities. None of them were when we bought the property. The story I remember most was this single mom working at 7-Eleven. She had 4 boys. 3 of them were triplets who had been born premature, often happens, and they were born in South America, did not get proper medical treatment, and all of them were blind. These 3 boys were living in a windowless storage room. And when we did this survey, the reason they were there is because they had no money. So it was a generous act of the prior owner to put them there, but it was a fire hazard. These were blind boys. I mean, we didn't even want a week to go by after we bought the building to have them in that condition. So not only did we spend a few $1,000s to create a temporary light and egress plan for that storage room, but when we remodeled the apartments, we created a new 4-bedroom suite for them. And those boys went from the local elementary school to the middle school. They're high achieving, they have expectations for the future. Property now is a gleaming, all new systems, air conditioning, new electrical. We put in a playground, we put in a community center. And after we were finished, the leader of the Civic Association said, "Where have you been? You have made a wonderful neighbor out of what you did here."